Hey guys, I have a video today on two concepts really that are pretty linked together, pretty closely I should say. And we're talking about square numbers, and in a little bit I'll talk about square roots as well. Okay, so beginning with square numbers, they are the result of a number multiplied by itself. Okay, so not the number, but the answer to that multiplication. So you really need to know the first 10, let's say 12 off by heart, okay, as in automatically, because they really help speed up other things, other aspects. Okay, so for example, you've got 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, etc. And to give you a bit more understanding of what those numbers mean, we're talking about 1 squared, which is the same as 1 times 1. 2 squared, so hence the term square numbers. 2 squared, which is the same as 2 times 2. 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, etc. Okay, so when I say the first 10, we're talking about 1 squared, 2 squared, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10 squared. You should know pretty well. Okay, and the square numbers are these, the result, the answers. Okay, we can also call them perfect squares, and when you get into some higher level maths, you will have, is that traffic noise? Sorry guys. When you get into some higher level maths, you'll have like decimals and stuff, so we call these our perfect squares because they are whole numbers. Okay, using that knowledge is going to help you with this next concept, square roots, okay? So finding the square root of a number is the opposite of squaring it, okay? And we use this little symbol, which is like a tick with a roof as well. It's kind of another way to remember it. Okay, so when we say the square root of something, we're talking about finding what is the number that times by itself to give the number that's in the square root symbol. Okay, so we say the square root of 4 in this case equals 2, because 2 times 2, or 2 squared, is what gives this number here. Okay, so the square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3, or 3 squared, is what gives us this answer under here. Okay, the square root of 16 is 4, square root of 25 is 5, etc. Okay, so and knowing those really well will help speed up a number of other processes too. So let's put that information into a question that combines both concepts as an example. Okay, my first question for you. So this is what we call an expression. Okay, so something that needs to be solved. Whenever I do these, because they sort of take a number of steps for me in my brain to figure out, I always write down a line of working at least to make sure I can not get any mistakes. Because sometimes if you do have the working correct, but the thinking in your brain is incorrect and you get the wrong answer by adding up wrong, you might still get some extra marks for that, some half marks or something. Okay, so I'm going to just expand these before I find out my answer. So 3 squared is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. The subtraction stays the same. The square root of 9 is 3. Okay, the plus sign stays the same. And 1 squared is actually the same as 1, because that's 1 times 1. Okay? Oh, you're joking. How's that for timing? Alright, let me see if I can get this working again. Alright, it's decided it doesn't like me. Let's try that expression again. Okay, so 9 minus, we ended up working out this was 3 plus 1. Okay, so 9 minus 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. And you're finished. Okay, let's try another example and hopefully I won't crash on this one. Okay, so 4 squared minus the square root of 25 plus 7 squared. Okay, so again, we're going to work out each individual one before we actually try to figure out the answer. So 4 squared is the same as 16. The subtraction stays the same. The square root of 25 is 5, because 5 times 5 gives us 25. Okay, the plus stays the same, and 7 squared is 49. 7 times 7. Working on to our next line, 16 minus 5 is 11. Okay, plus 49, with the final answer then of 60. Okay, what I do hear a lot in some of my classes is people saying 4-2 or 4 times 2. It's totally for this example here. All right, make sure that you're using the correct language, 4 squared, and that actually means 4 times itself, so 4 times 4. Okay, be aware that it's not 2, as in multiplied by 2. Okay, let's give you a final question. This one has another extra element to consider. Okay, so whenever you have a square root sign like this that has more than one element in it, like this one, so when I scroll up I just had one number before, now I've gone to a question that has 2. So you need to evaluate everything underneath the square root sign together before you find the square root of the final answer. Okay, so 8 squared is 64 plus 6 squared is 36. Okay, and I have still kept the plus sign there because it just is the same from up the top because I haven't actually added those together yet. So 64 plus 36 is the same as, equals 100. And the square root of 100 is 10 because 10 times 10 gives us 100. So 10 times 10 is the same as 10 squared. 10 squared is 100. Okay, so our answer for that one is just 10. If you want more of these questions, and I will say this is probably a little bit above the level that is needed if you're just starting out on this concept. I'll show you on my textbook where you can find more of these questions. So it says page 142 on mine. Your digital copy is slightly different, but we're looking at exercise 3G. Okay, so some of these styles of questions in question 5 would be good ones to start with, making sure that you have your working written down in another line before you try to figure out the answer. Don't try to figure it out all in your head. Okay, that can be very difficult sometimes. Okay, there's a few more difficult questions after that one. Can't seem to think one. There we go. If you go on to the rest of the chapter there. Okay, so if you're feeling confident, you can give those a go as well. Okay, good luck.